Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and today I have a fun thing for us to look at. Well, several things obviously. I have a few vintage items that I want to share with you that I found in the secondhand store, some of them, and others just online like secondhand markets. And they are agendas except for one thing that we're going to get started with. The first thing that I wanted to show you, because we are doing stationary stuff here, is a very old exercise book. Now this, I think, is about the same age as some of the stuff that I've got on the stack here to my left. This smells as old as it looks. It came with this label already on it, and it's just a standard lined exercise book with the red line. I'm guessing this is about, I want to say, from the 1950s, maybe a little earlier than that. I think my mother may have used these as a kid in school, and when I went to the secondhand store the other day, they had stacks of these, like perhaps per 10, so I made sure to grab one stack because I love vintage stuff. I would say that the paper is just the same as the exercise books that we can still buy over here in the Netherlands. I don't know if you can get them in the US if you have these even, because these are like the types of things that you would use in school. You would put your name on here and maybe your subjects. And then we have this red line on the left there, where you basically start writing, and then I guess you could put like numbers and bullet points on the left or something. I don't know if you guys use those in the US, but we do. But it's a standard 60-gram paper here, maybe 70-gram, and it smells great. Not really, but it looks fun, and it's this lovely greenish color that they also used to have like a lot of metal items in this type of greenish color. I don't know what it was about that color that made it so popular, but they had a lot of it. And it's got some yellowing on the edges. I don't know if you can even see that. That's how old it is. It turned yellow. So that's a lovely find. But now I want to get onto something fun. I'm kind of debating if I want to show the big one first or the small ones. I think I'm going to do a mix. So I'm going to start with the big one, which says, no, I'm going to start with the small one, sorry. We're going to start with some small agendas that I found. And we're going to look at these two first. These are called agendas. This one is from 1914 or 1915, I think. This one's 1913, I'm guessing. Let's take a look, because they say it's somewhere else. Somewhere in the middle it says, yeah, 22 years success. 1914 is the best, so I'm guessing this is the result for 1914. Yeah, here we go. Policies maturing in 1915. So this would have been a booklet for 1915. This is from the Great West Life Insurance Company. We have two of them over here. This one's a little older still. This is 1913 then. And so this is, I think, a life insurance company, and they didn't really have a lot in here in the ways of an agenda. They have in the back a little calendar over here for 1516 right there. You can see the dates, but the rest of the booklets, aside from this middle page that shows you basically their results, and that's of course to impress you and so that you know you've signed up for the right insurance company. The rest of the booklets past this page where you can just write your information, I believe, is just grid paper like this. So you could write stuff in here. So it's kind of like if you had a weeks, a Hobonichi weeks, but it was only note paper and 1 year calendar, basically like that. But it's very fun because over here you have some reasons for insuring in the Great West Insurance Company. First, because it invests the premiums to better advantage than any other company can. It doesn't say exactly how, but that's what they say. Second, because it pays the largest profits. Third, because those insuring now are more interested in present and future results than in what has been. Fourth, because the Great West was the first Canadian company to adopt a higher standard of reserve. And the fifth, because it leads in everything that is to the interest of policyholders. Okay. Also over here it says, if anything happens to me, telephone this person or telegraph the above address. So over there. Age, height, weight, color. I don't know what that means. Color. Number, watch number, boots. I'm not sure if that's like a watch, like if you had a fancy watch or something, or fancy boots that you could possibly put there, or maybe if you can put a few other items in here as well that are yours, etc. Like writing down serial numbers of things that are important to you. So if anything were to happen to that, you have some type of record that those were yours or something along those lines. So that's interesting. Like I said, the rest is graph paper, except for the middle, where we talk about results of 1919, which was the best apparently. And an increase over there. We've got some things that are maturing in 1915. Then we go back to the graph paper, and then we're over here. So that is this one, and this one is very similar as well. Have the reasons changed? Let's see. Other company can, largest profits, present, future, great West Canadian company, leasing, everything. Yep, it's exactly the same. We have the same page here. We have graph paper again. This graph paper is a much clearer grid than this one, even though this one is younger, technically speaking. So it's interesting that that was changed. Maybe that's also because they wanted to only invest their profits in their customers and not in printing, I guess. So these are the results of 20. Why do I keep saying 20? 1919. And what they expect to mature, I'm guessing on the right. Items of satisfaction. So I have large new business, large surplus earnings, low expense rates. Okay, they're not talking too much about maturing here. It is trebly satisfactory to have a large increase in business, a large increase in surplus earnings, and at the same time low expense rates. So sure it is. An increase of $131 and $386 as well. So that's nice for them. More graph paper, and then at the end again we have the calendar for 1913, 1914. So that's you, and I have another Great West Life over here, and this one is older. No, it's not, actually, it's younger. This one is from a few years after, but they only have 4 reasons here, not 5. So they've dropped a reason. This is still the same. We still have graph paper here. What does the result paper say? Oh, 1916, a year of record increases. So this will be from 1917. These staples really start to rust here. That's unfortunate. Here we go. Some more results. And that's great. So what's the main increase? Increase for the year. 13. Oh, that's 13,550,000. Wow, that's quite an increase, actually. That's pretty good business right there. So more graph paper at the end of that. And then the year at the end, 1718. So these will be from First World War, actually, because that was from 1914 to 1918. So these are very interesting booklets. Nice little look into the past, how people used to consider agendas. And then we have another one that's very interesting to look at as well. But this is from the New England Mutual Life Insurance Company from Boston, Massachusetts, which is this, I don't think this is leather. I think this is some type of plastic, but it makes it look like leather, even though it's kind of damaged over here in the corner. That doesn't look like a letter damage, but maybe it is. I don't know. Let's take a look on the inside. So this is also an insurance company, very similar to the other one. They were on 87 Milk Street in Boston, Massachusetts. A purely mutual company founded in 1835 upon solid scientific principles. Oh, faithful to every obligation and conducted for the sole benefit of its members. A company of remarkable financial strength and with a history of continuous success. All right, they have low premium rates. They have an annual dividends on every policy, largest cash and loan values, largest paid-up insurance with annual dividends, longest extended insurance with annual dividends, large installment payments with annual dividends, and a life annuity option. All right, they have an unusually liberal contract. All right, let's see. Domestic postage. Oh, this is like an information page on how much you need to pay for different postages. This one does actually state the actual months and stuff like that. There we go. We start in January 10th, though, for some reason. And we go through it like this. I don't think anybody wrote anything in here. March 1909. Wow, that's lovely. So this is the oldest of the ones that I got. And then we have this card here. So this is actually if you want more information. There was another one of these in the back, but they took that one out, so I guess somebody else sent it in. But it says here, without committing myself to any action or obligation, I shall be pleased to receive sample policy most suitable for a person of my age for a certain amount of money, name, address, date of birth, month, day, year. And then you would mail that out to them over here. H.A. Curtis, General Agent, 176 Federal Street, Boston, Massachusetts. And then you would get your, I guess, policy indication and how much you would have to pay for that. So we continue in the year. Side, by the way, of the pages is this gold foiling thing that you also see a lot these days. That's kind of nice. I don't think anybody used it. As you can see, there's nothing written in it. Come on, can I split these pages? It's very thin paper again. And this is the spot where there used to be one of those cards and now it's been removed. Or this is the counterpart to this thing to just keep it in the booklet. That might also be the case because I don't see that serrated edge here. So maybe that's just to keep this thing in place. Okay, that's an option. And what do we have in the back here? I see something about addresses. Okay, addresses. You can put your addresses here. And some more. We have some memoranda. So I'm guessing that's like the old version of saying notes. Maybe we should go back to saying memoranda. It sounds fun. Like memoranda on this day and that sort of thing happened. And lovely pink lines as well. Rather large sections that you don't tend to see. There you have area and population of states and territories. Interesting that you can see like how much square miles each state has and the population in 1900. So that's the 1900 census. Representatives each state had at the time. Then you have the totals over here, and then that says here that at that time the United States had 75,397,616 people. Very exact. And 391 representatives. And Alaska over there does not have any representatives. And that does boost the total to 76,303,387 people. Very nice. So there's that. And then we have the calendar of 1910 and 1909. Oh, it does actually say that it's leather down here. See that? It says Boston Leather Binding Corporation, Boston. So it is leather. Okay, interesting to note. Because it kind of looks like it may be plastic that they just kind of processed. It has these little holes in it. So maybe they just kind of like poked the leather a lot to make it look like this, because this is not normal looking leather, I would think. So it is leather. That's kind of fun with this really lovely embossed thing here at the front with a person looking at a sign, probably trying to find where they can turn in the card that they filled out with their insurance information, or where they would like to get some insurance information from them. That's very nice. Okay, so there's that. And the last one I'm going to save until after this one. Now this one is a much bigger. So what I have here is something from 1928. I just got to check if I have the correct angle. Yes, I do. There we go. This one's much bigger. It doesn't even really fit on the screen. So this is agenda, but it's made by a company that does or did at that time. I don't know if they still exist. They organized railway travel for the wealthy. So they have a very lovely calendar. I'm guessing this is supposed to be like Christmas decorations in a Christmas tree. Like they may have sent this to their customers at Christmas as a Christmas gift. It's like, here's your agenda for next year, that type of thing. So this is from 1928. So the art is amazing. This is the inside cover. Let's just pay through it a little bit. So it's in French because it's from France, obviously. So this is, I guess, the lines that they would go up and down over here, these dark lines. I don't read French very well, but it says here about centers of tourism and the séjour. I don't know what that means. Et ligne internationale et correspondance avec le réseau. No idea. If you speak French, let me know what that means. Administration and reduction. Oh, so they were on 20 Boulevard Diderot in Paris. Tout droit de reproduction et de traduction réservé. So you're not allowed to really reproduce anything over here. And it says Paris Mediterranean Lion. All right, agenda. So it's interesting that it says agenda because you really have to look for the agenda part because it's mostly an ad for their company and their services, but it's so lovely that we are going to take a look at it regardless. Like for instance, this sketch drawing that they made over there with a whole bunch of trains. I'm just going to zoom in on that a little bit. Like you can see, this is very metropolitan, Art Deco style. Very radiant, everything's super sleek and nicely lined. This car, by the way, is super long. It's not exactly how cars work, but back then, of course, everything had to look dramatic, so they made it really, really long. And this is the calendar of 1928 over there, surrounding the image, because, of course, the image is much more important than the actual calendar. Then we have a summary here because there's a lot of history about their company and history about transportation as well. And then there, of course, are some months stuck in between there. More of that. We have here nostalgia of the voyage. So I'm guessing this is talking about how people used to not be able to go anywhere. Like this caveman over here looking at this car like, what the heck is that? And why is it going so fast? Must be a monster. That type of thing. So if you want to pause and read that because you can read French, make sure to do that right here. And then we're going to move on to this. It continues over here, but then we have this really lovely image over here of like an angel flying above these cars and these trains that are, of course, made by this company. Now, this is like a cardstock page with a thing pasted on top of it. See, it's not really printed on there. It's printed on this card and then printed or pasted on here. And all of the images are like that. Then we have some history, I'm guessing, on, oh, this is the person who invented or introduced trains. Let's see, I gotta put it down because it keeps trying to come back up, so I need both my hands for this. But there's some about that. So we have some more lovely images of the first trains, and this is, I'm guessing, people, how they used to travel with horses and carts. Continued over here, more trains. This is an actual photo instead of a, oh, this is also an actual photo. The Pierrot 1846 over there, the locomotive. And then we have here the Mountain locomotive 1925. That one's the most recent, then I'm guessing, like the comparison between the first and the most recent model that we've just deployed. Amazing. And then we have some cabooses here. Electric. These are electric over here. Here we have like a first model car or train, actually. No, it's on a rail, so it's a train. Very nice. So people have to actually stand out in the open in order to conduct this. And look at all the little booms and things that are pumping things to the wheels, I'm guessing, to keep the wheels moving. Very interesting. More images similar to that over there. And this page, lots of history here, lots of fun pictures to look at. You can see the factories in back, so it's kind of like the Industrial Revolution as well going on at the same time. More caboose over here, person on a horse. This must have been a very long painting. Also, there are some people here doing some laundry in the river. That's something that people don't do anymore. I do like to see those little details in drawings and things like that, like people just living their lives. And then there's this guy on a horse, and there's trains in the background. That's actually what they wanted to show, but they also kind of use these drawings to see how, or show rather, how things are integrated into society. Like, oh, look, we're just part of everyday life. We're so amazing. So here's some more of that. And another one of those pictures that's like, it feels kind of like bubbly, like they kind of stuck it on and it started to bubble a little bit. This is the Citadel d'Alep in Syria. So I'm guessing maybe these are places that you could visit as well. But also there is a photograph of what the interior of one of their trains looks like. So that is very luxurious. You don't see that anymore. I don't think you even see those in the most expensive trains anymore now, because back then, of course, luxury was actual luxury. And these days things are just expensive but not necessarily good. But anyway, so we've got some more places you could go to. Le Simplon Orient Express. Okay, so you could go to the Orient with this, although this is Paris and that is London up there. Back then they didn't have the underground railroad taking them directly to the UK, so that would have been difficult to go by train. But I guess they also have like airplanes, which you could then have taken instead. Some more views. Places you could visit, I imagine. Belgrade, Sofia, Bucharest, and Ljubljana. I don't know where that is, so I'm guessing this is also telling you where you can go. I don't read French, so I can't really tell you if that's exactly what this is, but it just looks like it. Let's see, Egypt, the pyramids, yeah, very nice. Beirut again, hospices de Beaune, Hotel de l'Hôtel Dieu, the Hotel of God, apparently. Ah, interesting. Some paintings, and again, the hospice again, they're probably talking a lot about these places, but I want to kind of get to the actual agenda parts, which takes a while to get there because we are going through all of the history. This is a very lovely picture. What is this? Cour intérieure des Hospices de Beaune? Bourgogne? Okay. So this is a lovely painting of the place that you could visit with a very old-fashioned well there. Very nice. La Route des Alpes et du Jura. Okay. If you say so. Here's the one. Oh, they do actually have cars this long. See this? I thought it was like a dramatized image there. Maybe they did have cars that long, like a bus basically. So maybe this is like a bus tour company now. Who knows? So I'm guessing they used to call those cars, but they are actually buses, or they turned into buses eventually. No roof though, so you have to make sure that it was a nice day if you went anywhere. And there's some more history. We got boats, we've got the Alps, I'm guessing, the Mont Blanc, yep, one of the biggest. But I want to kind of get to the agenda. Let me try to find that. A lovely picture here of, what is Ligne Ferrée des Alpes en hiver, près de Montaufen, Gilestre par Alfred Rigny. Okay, you painted that. I'm guessing this is a train in the Alps in the winter. Yeah, I think that's what it is. La Romano. Okay, here we go. Finally, we have our first page here with an actual agenda piece. This is January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And you get 4 days per page. And you have like a couple lines here with some bars on either side that you could probably use to put note things on if you wanted to. I don't think anybody ever wrote in this. Let's just go take a look here. We've skipped a page. A lot of history and stories maybe about the places. And still, we're just going to go January. Does anything happen when the month ends? We get a lovely picture again. Porte de Marché à Nice. Okay, so this is the port in Nice. There they traded, or maybe just a marketplace. Very impressionistic style. Alright, Le Carnaval de Miss Dorothy Bunst. Alright, and then we are in February. Are these stories or something? Because it seems very dramatic, these pictures that they're drawing. Also very interesting artwork here as well. Love that. We're still in February. This does look like a story. Makes me wish I actually paid more attention in French class back in school so I could read it a little bit more. Oh, this corner's folded. Need to fold that back. And then we are looking at Patio de la Bahia de Marrakech in Morocco. Okay. Oh, this one's almost loose. Okay, there's nothing on the other side. We can check that. More stories. We're in Mars now. March, in other words. Style is very different from story to story, it seems. And then we're at the end of March, and then we have Le Pont du Gard. Okay, this looks like the old aqueduct. That might be what that is. And then we are in April. Avril, that's right. Okay, so it goes on like that throughout the entire year. Let's see if we see anything in particular at the end of the year. This is November. Half et Omega. I don't know what that is. December. Let's see if there's anything special at the end of the year. 31st. Okay, and then we have note space because they ran out of days. So I guess that's the only time you're going to have a note space right at the end there. And then we have the Chapelle de Ramatuelle. Près de Saint-Tropez, Côte d'Azur, par Albert Eiffel. Okay, from Albert Eiffel, from the Eiffel Tower. I don't know. But we have little space on the end there. I'm guessing that if you had a month that also ended with an extra bit of space, you got memento space there as well. Let's see. At the end, we have Essence par element de renseignement. Okay. Da-da-da-da. These may be places you can travel to or the routes you can take through them, and you can go to Paris over here. Hotels that you could possibly go to at the end of the station. And what's the next page? So these are just general information for like travelers that you could use to book your travels. And then of course a page where they tell you all about their comforts in their different types of transportation. So this is the trains on the left. You can sleep in them as well. At the bottom right, you have like first class airplane seats over here that fold out. Very nice. I'm guessing all these seats fold out because it's the same type of seat over here that this guy's sitting on, but this one's laying down. So that's nice. They can just recline and look out the window, obviously, in the comfort of a very luxurious train. And once again, a lovely image over here on the right. Very good. It says over here, travelers, if our trains aren't enough, you can also get this car. You can go further, I guess. The trains will go a certain way, and then you can take the car to go into more detail, I guess, in your travels. Some more places that you can go to, maybe. These might be ideas for traveling. I don't know. Centers of tourism. Mediterranean places. And hotels and trains in the mountains, other things like that. And then we are at the back, and then you have this. This is a bunch of cards that you could send, but it's still perfectly sealed, and I don't really want to break the seal, so we're only ever going to see these first three. We have here Pontarlier de l'Ancien Rempart over there, and Valence, Porte d'Escalier Renaissance, and Ascension du Mont Blanc. These are places that you could visit, and then when you're there you can send this card as proof, though you already have the card, so you could just send it and say that you went because you have a picture, so there's proof. But yeah, these are things that you could send, and I imagine that there are other places that were mentioned earlier in the book that'll have pictures of them in here, but I don't want to disturb the seal, so I'm just going to leave it as is. So that is a very interesting and lovely book. Here's the back, which is the same as the front. So that is a very fancy agenda for fancy people. I imagine that the people who traveled on these trains and luxury cars had quite a bit of money. But now we're going back to a much smaller booklet, similar size to the ones we had before, but this one is very interesting because somebody actually wrote in it, and that's kind of why I wanted to show it to you last, because it's kind of fun. So this one is in Dutch. This is an insurance company agenda for protection against water damage. And this is from the head office at the Keizergracht 431 in Amsterdam. They've written a little bit on here, but I'm thinking that this number 24 is possibly from somebody who tried to sell it off afterwards. And it's from 1924, as you can see. This says 750 florins. I'm pretty sure that's not the sale price of the booklet. That would have been very expensive for 1924, but probably somebody who tried to sell it at a market later. Anyway, this one says company for insuring against water pipe damage, capital 200,000 florins, which is the predecessor to guilders, the Dutch currency before we got the euro, and some of that's turned and reformed. And then we have the commissioners over here and the director, W.M. Gasman. Company insures houses, contents of houses, and goods against a steady and reasonable premium. And you can contact this guy if you want more information. Well, I'm pretty sure he's no longer around, but if he were, you could contact him about, and he'd be like, I'm not doing that anymore, so why are you calling me? Anyway, so this one says over here that experience finds that the insurance is the only way that you can insure yourself against damages from water lines. Nobody is capable of preventing the freezing of water lines and preventing the careless treatment of taps and other things by fellow or upper inhabitants. Only the insurance can prevent large losses which threaten everyone at any moment. So they're trying to scare you into getting an insurance. Of course, water damage is terrible, so you definitely want to be insured to that. And the Netherlands is one of the main countries where you can get any type of insurance. So back then we already had lots of insurances, as you saw with the other booklets as well. Those were Canadian though, some of them. But the Netherlands had similar things as well. And also they have a phone number here that is only 5 numbers, which is rare because these days it's double that. All right, so here we go. We have a couple of Christian holidays over here. We have a couple of Catholic holidays over here, because the Netherlands has always split itself between Christian and Catholic. And then we have some Israeli holidays as well. So we have many different types of religions over here in 1924 already. It says here that it was started in Amsterdam in 1889. So for their time, not super old. I'm guessing J.H. Springer in Assurances in Groningen over there, maybe the person who owned this, or it could be that they were an insurance agent who sold the insurance to the person who then eventually bought this booklet or got this booklet. Now this over here is them writing, I guess, where they were that day, and Snake is one of the towns over here. And let's see. So they just wrote where they were, I imagine. So they were in Snake here the entire time, and then suddenly they switched to Leeuwarden, which is another town. And it goes Leeuwarden, 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 Leeuwarden. And I guess here they were kind of tired of writing it, and then it just went like this every day. It's like, I know what that means. But the funny thing about this thing is that every once in a while there's something else noted other than where they were. And I'm thinking, let's go find the first one. Oh yeah, here we go. This one over here says 1 egg. So I'm thinking this person had pigeons that they may have flown in like pigeon racing competitions, which was a big thing back in the day. So we have 1 egg on the 15th of February. And then we have another egg on the 25th. And then we are still in Leeuwarden over here. And then we have another egg on the 6th of March. And then we have the little one. So I'm guessing the little one is one of their birds. They have like a bunch of pigeons, and there's like a small one that he, I guess, thinks is smaller than the rest, and that's why it's easily denoted as the little one. So the little one is there. And then on the 14th we have another egg. And this time he went to 2 different places, maybe even a third, because there's like an actual little scratch there on the end. Another egg on the 16th. Another egg, and then the little one. So I guess the little one laid an egg. And another egg from the little one over here. We've got a bunch of numbers back here. We're starting to count, I think, over here. We have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 7, 14, 8. They're really laying their eggs now. And 16, 10, 18, 10, 19, 13. They're starting to get even. The smallest egg. Another egg on the 11th. So they were laying as well. Do we have anything else? Yeah, we had something later in the year. Let's take a look. Lots of numbers here. Lots of, I'm pretty sure he had tons of pigeons as well, because he's got so many. And then suddenly we're in Colum, which is another place. Interesting that we have that. So 65 over here. Zeil, or no, Leeuwarden. Again, in pencil. I guess he forgot his dip pen over here. Trying to turn the pages very carefully so I don't end up ripping anything. More numbers. We're still in Leeuwarden. And then we're in Steenwijk, which is a completely different town. So this guy gets around. And these staples have also started to rust, which is a little bit unfortunate. But okay, it is what it is. This one says wind egg, which is kind of funny. That's like a term that we tend to use for, oh yeah, you know, we're just laying wind eggs, as in it looks like it might be something, but it turns out to be nothing. So it could be that they laid an egg that just wasn't going to hatch because it was kind of useless, maybe even empty. And this one says 100 from Lieke, I think. That may be a name that they gave to their particular pigeon. Not sure if I'm reading that correctly, but it kind of looks like that's what it says over there, Lieke, on the 24th of July. Just paging through here. We're also in Vlieland now. And over here it says, oh, here we go. It actually says pigeon. The white pigeon sold. Got a blue one. And then there's something about Dofferen Duif. That's probably a certain term for a certain type of pigeon over there. It says so over there, see? So he's definitely counting pigeons and pigeon eggs. That's fun. Alright, what else do we have? Lots of eggs. This guy must have had tons of pigeons. And now we have red ink all of a sudden. And it says over here, Mr. De Bruyne passed away at noon. Or at least at 12 o'clock. Maybe noon. And over here, Mr. De Bruyne was buried on the 23rd. Interesting that was noted. So he died on the 19th of September at 12. Interesting to note that as well. Oh, we're getting very scratchy over here. I think he got a new pen at this point. This may also be a different town because it's starting to get very dramatic all of a sudden. What does this say? Duif weer gekregen. So I'm thinking that means he got a pigeon back. And what else can we see about that? Anything? Wow, it's getting very messy over here. Maybe you just couldn't really handle this new pen. We're back in Leeuwarden though. I'm guessing this is Leeuwarden. I don't know what that is. This is repetition history. Oh, he may have been actually in school at some point. Or maybe somebody like in his family was in school and they got a 7+. That's not a bad grade, all in all. Good job on that. From many few years into the future. A little more scratching. I have no idea what this says right now. I don't think this is Leeuwarden anymore, but I don't know what it is because he hasn't actually written out the full name that I could see. Alright, what do we have here? We have a lot over here. There's a different word here, but I can't really read that. Trianker? Trianaker? Franeker? Franeker is possible. That might be a place. And then we're back in Snake. There's a lot of different places here. Berlicum. Alright, another place. Sint Joost. Don't know what that says. Maybe a school, maybe a place. Oh, parochie. Okay, so that's a parish. St. Joost Parish. Okay, interesting. And we have some, what does all this say? Went to the old dike. It says, I think this says last day of the old year with bus. Went to the old, maybe the dike again. I can't really see that. The last letter written of that booklet. They may have signed their name at the bottom over here, but I'm not really sure what that says at the bottom there. It says like he wrote the last letter of that booklet, and then it says Guris Pekenrul. I don't know what that says. I cannot read that, but he may have just signed off the booklet because now we are out of places to write stuff on. So that is kind of funny. It just kind of went from I've been here, and suddenly you have a whole bunch of eggs, and we're buying pigeons, and we're getting pigeons. Somebody dies, and there's a history exam. It's all a lot of stuff going on, and then suddenly we go to an old dike, and we get a bit of flavor text here at the end, which is difficult to read, but very interesting. And then the booklet itself goes into post tariffs and what you need to do in order to mark a letter to send it to different places. And express deliveries, and also to foreign countries, of course, you need to be able to send stuff to that as well. And what do we have here? The telegraph, which you could still use. And then we have here different fares. Number of words. Oh, this is a telegraph thing. If you were to send 2 words, it would cost you 50 cents within the Netherlands. But if you send it to Belgium, then it costs 50 cents as well. Germany 50 cents, France 50 cents, Luxembourg 40. Luxembourg's cheaper. Just send stuff to Luxembourg. And yeah, I guess the number of words increases the amount that you have to pay. And then you have like different types of priorities like regular, urgent, or local, which is of course a cheaper fare. But if you want to urgently telegram 2 words, it'll cost you $1.50. So make sure that you telegraph beforehand because that's cheaper by about, I guess, 33% of the price. And that is also the last page of the booklet. And this says who printed it. The United Printers, Roelofsen, Hubener, and Van Zanten and Gebroeders Binger in Amsterdam printed this little booklet for the people to use. And that is the last vintage agenda. And here's the rest of them. Maybe I'll just bring all of them out actually so you can look at them again. So put this one on the end here, and then I'll give you this one. There you go. You can write a little exercise booklet. Then you have these guys and this one right there. Lovely. So that is it for my vintage agenda review and vintage stationery review over here with this one. Hope you found that interesting. It's always fun to look at stuff from the past because you never know what you're going to find, if they wrote anything at all. And in this case, we found the agenda of somebody who kept pigeons, which is also kind of interesting to see how people kept track of their things back in the day. In any case, I want to thank you for watching. I hope to see you in another video, and bye-bye for now.